So an easy way to remember the distribution of the population between different continents at this time that has been laid out in the book Factfulness is the code 1114. Now here each digit of the code represents a value for the population of a continent. The first one is 1 billion for the American continent, the second one is 1 billion for Europe, third one is a billion for Africa, four is 4 billions of Asia. Obviously all are rounded figures, and this code is expected to change to 1145 by the end of this century, so that the population of the American continent and Europe is expected to stay more or less the same. The population of Africa is expected the most significant increase, 4 times as many people as there are now, and the population of Asia is expected to increase by over 1 billion. Now, for the population of Africa, it has increased at a dramatic pace in the recent past. Now, according to this paper, the population of Africa contributed 9% to the global population in the year 1960, and that increased to 10% in the year 1975, and that further increased to 13% in the year 2000. And in the year 2020, the population of Africa was close to a billion. And in the year 2050, the population is expected to reach about 2.19 billion. Now that is over 110% increase. Now, for the factors that have contributed to such a dramatic increase in the population, one is obviously the birth rate. Although the birth rate has been steadily declining over the recent past, it is still higher compared to those of the other nations and continents. Now, in the year 2020, the average was 30 births per thousand of the population for Africa, and in the same year, the average was 18 for the world. The average was 18 for India. The average was 12 for China, also 12 for the United States. The other reason is the fertility rate. Same for the fertility rate as well. The fertility rate has been steadily declining, but it is still relatively high. In the year 2020, the fertility rate was 4 births on average per woman, and the same average was 2 for the world. And there are and then there are other reasons as well, such as the use of contraceptives that is not as popular among the African nations as it is among the other continents, and also women tend to have children at a relatively young age. Now these last two factors indicate a lack of family planning, and these same factors contributed to significant increase in population across the other continents as well in the past. But these factors have stabilized, and so the population growth across the other continents for the most part has also been stabilized. Now, what led to the stabilization of these factors? That is the economic development and the improvement in literacy. Now, these factors that lead to the significant population increase are either directly or indirectly correlated to the economic development. Actually, the fertility rate has been shown to have a strong correlation to the GDP per capita. The greater the GDP per capita, the lesser is the fertility rate. It has also been shown to have a strong correlation to the average number of years spent in schooling. And the same is for the use of contraceptives. There is a correlation between the use of the contraceptives and the GDP per capita. The correlation is not as strong, but it does exist. And so with the economic development, the economic development does have a strong impact on the factors responsible for the population growth. And the improvement in economy is expected to happen in the near future, and so the population growth, like other continents, will also be stabilized across Africa. But what is expected to happen after that is that the economy will improve, but the majority of the population will be concentrated across Asia and Africa. So with the improvement in economy, the consumer market that is mostly concentrated across across the West at this time will move to those parts of the world. So that is something that the emerging businesses will need to consider for future. And so that's all that I have for this video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.